I'm going to use the custom border system today to make a fantastic layout. I'm using 2 sheets of paper, one to be a bottom layer, which is a strong contrasting color, and one to be a main top layer. But I also want to use the other side, so I want a paper where I like both sides. And both sides contrast well with the bottom layer. So today we're going to be using the numbers on our mat. They're going to be how we measure. And we're going to be taking the inside tip of our custom border template, not the little RGB lines, but this inner tip. And we're going to put that inner tip on the 3/4 inch line, the 1 3/4 inch line, and the 2 3/4 inch line from the center. So these are the marks where we're going to put our template. So our first cut is going to be with our template right here. Then we'll slide over and put the next one right here at the 1 3/4 inch line. And then finally right here at the 2 3/4 inch line. Let's start cutting our paper. So I'm placing my upper layer paper on my 13 by 13 inch mat. Now, it's going to be very important that this paper does not shift. So I am definitely going to take the Noreen rule and put some repositionable on the mat and put my paper on the mat so it's snug and won't shift. The paper really needs to be steady. Now I'm using a directionless paper. This works with a paper that has a direction, so choose the way you want your paper to be oriented. For me, this looks good. That looks good. But I'll stick with this. So now that I have my paper on my mat, held down with a bit of repositionable adhesive, I'm going to take my template and I'm going to put that inner mark on the 3/4 inch line. Now, for me right now, the numbers counting from left to right, the 3/4 inch is on my left. And I'm going to make sure that the corresponding spot, which is the 11 1/4 inch line going that way, is where my original cut is going to be. Now for this layout, it is quite important that everything stays in place, that there is no shifting. So I'm going to take a bit of peel and place tape to also hold the template on the paper as steady as possible. And I'm going to do it by putting on these notches of the template. That way they will be out of the way of the blade. But now the template isn't going to shift and our paper isn't going to shift. So peel and place tape here and here. And now I'm ready to cut. Remember, I cut from here up and then all the way down. Now I'm going to keep my paper. We do not want our under paper to move, pull back our peel and place tape, and we'll pick up our template. And this paper here, we will discard. We will not need this end. Next, we're going to put the edge of our template at the 1 3/4 inch mark. So we'll make sure that that's the 1 3/4 inch mark on here and here. And once again, use the peel and place tape to keep our template from shifting. And this repositionable keeps our paper from shifting. Peel up our peel and place tape. Pull up our mat. Now we're going to keep this chevron. We'll just put it to the side for right now. And the last cut on our left will be at the 2 3/4 inch mark from the edge. So now we have a second chevron. We'll put it off to the side. Now, because I'm right-handed, I like to do my cuts with my right hand. So I'm going to turn my mat around and repeat what I did before. I'm going to put the edge at the 3/4 inch mark here. I'm going to discard the first cut. Okay, now I'm going to put my paper back together, but there will be small gaps. So now this is what our paper looks like. We've cut our design. We have a bit of an hourglass shape in the middle and a couple of chevrons on the outside. Now, before we adhere this to our underpaper, I'm going to show you the next step, which is to take this innermost chevron, so the outside chevron and the inside chevron. We're going to pick them up. We're picking them up. We're going to swap them and then turn them to the opposite side. And now this is our look. One more thing. Note where the edges of the center paper hit. This hits at 2 1/4 of an inch. And this hits at 9 3/4. So 2 1/4, 9 3/4 is where the center edges are on this piece. So next, we're going to affix these pieces to their underpage. This is basically the dry fit look of our layout base page. So I'm going to adhere the pieces. So I'm going to start with adhering the large centerpiece. So I'm going to affix our center underpiece first on the page. The next piece I'm going to put down is the outer chevron with the tips in the corner. So the corners of the chevron hit the corner edges of the paper. Now, while that is beautiful just as it is, I'm going to add this middle chevron centered between these two pieces. And this is our beautiful base page. Now note, this is directionless. So we could take our base and we could make this layout like this. So it goes either way. I can see me making this so many times. So I'm going to put my mats here because my photos are of the children and I try not to show them. I don't have their parents' permission. But this is a 4" by 6" mat. And as you see, it goes well here. You can separate them more. You can put a title across the middle. And so this is basically a beautiful layout, very fast, very easy, and very beautiful using these custom border templates. So I've decided to use this scalloped heart border maker cartridge to create a border for my page. That border maker cartridge is an edge style, meaning it stays attached to the paper, but I'm going to cut it off. So whenever I use the scalloped heart border maker cartridge and I want to cut it off, I use my scallop cutting blade and my 12" trimmer. Now, I pay attention to which direction my scallop goes. I'm going to make sure that my scallops have the rounded side on my right, because I'm going to put my paper in the trimmer with the hard scallop side pointing to my left. And I want the round part to be on my right hand side. In my blade, the word scallop should be pointing to my left. I want to cut with the tip of the scallop hearts on the 3/4 inch line. And I'm pulling out the peel in place tape to hold my scallop border steady on this 3/4 inch line. A very important thing to note when you're using these decorative blades, you have to get the cut right on the first pass. You don't get a second chance. So I'm going to make sure I'm putting very firm pressure on my blade as I cut and bring it towards myself. And I know I'm putting far more pressure than I really need to, but I don't want to take any chances. Now, I probably could have cut this a little closer, but I like this. And the scallop gives the top a bit more interest. Now, I could take this beautiful scallop border and put it all the way across my paper for the full 12 inches. But I'm thinking I just want to run the scallop on this center section. So I think I'm going to cut it off right there and just make it part of the center. Here is our final layout. I made an embellishment cluster here that holds the title, Easter Blessings from the Heart. I used the fallout from this border punch and put some hearts here in this cluster, and then down in this cluster I put hearts here also. I make a point of putting the date on the children's layouts because I want these to last for generations. I want these little people to look back on this layout, and hopefully when they grow up, they'll be showing it to their children and having their kids say to them, "You are such a cute baby, Daddy," or "You are such a pretty baby, Mommy," or even better, "You are such a pretty baby, Grandma." Now, before we get to the close-ups, I hope that you got something out of this video and that you will like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment to let me know if you're going to try this chevron technique. And here's a video YouTube says that you will like. I hope you'll watch it.